Okay, no. Hold on. Hold on.
The zombies are coming.
When he posted. I think it's also when he posted. Already has a ship. Sure, because the people who have issues with. He now have a ship.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
The zombies are coming. The zombies are coming.
What's up, everybody? It's the zombie and all of us happy adventurers back for another fun-filled Sunday of D&D. We got glowing as.
I am your ethereal companion.
And this is why you don't wear a green shirt when you have a green screen setup, my friends.
It's what I found on the floor. So
It's all right. We'll make it work. Welcome in. Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope you are doing well. I hope you all have had a great week. We are going to be jumping back into our adventure, but as always, announcements first. The entire month of April, we are raising money for Extra Life, and we're also going to be doing a special Extra Life tabletop stream next Sunday. The players are going to get to dig into their vault of characters and bring back their little friendly goblin characters for a fun little adventure that I have written for them. We may be joined by some other individuals. You'll have to tune in and find out. So that'll be next Sunday at the normal start time. Let's see here. We should be back to finishing up some of the Assassin's Creed Valhalla side quests and finally maybe get into the story. We're at like almost 80 hours of bullshit and we still haven't touched the main story. I'm sick of open world games, guys. I am. Just give me a game I can replay several times. It's only like 10 hours. I'll be happy.
It's basically I've fallen back to I just play roguelites now because it's about a 20-minute commitment. I don't have to memorize anything.
See, I did that for a while with Hades. Like I loved Hades, but I would find that 5 hours of my life went away because I was like, I am going to get this done, and I still have yet to actually beat Hades. I've gotten very close. I got to the final battle, but I'm just like, roguelikes bother me that way because I lose time with them. So. Other than that, normal streams. As any info yet?
No info.
No info. One of these days he's going to shock us and say, yes, he has a massive stream schedule and it's going to drop now. Boom!
That's one of these days. Just as soon as Dieter wins the lottery, I'll change my ways.
I doubt it. Even then, you're going to be like, I got the lottery now. I'm going to go get it. I'm done.
I stream for. I can go travel.
Yeah.
That's
I guess I could stream my. I could do like a real live stream or something.
You're going to be one of those V streamers that just goes around the world. Hey, this is me eating chili in fucking some weird country, and now I'm throwing up.
Exactly.
That'll be great because we'll be tagging along with you. Shebe's small enough we can put her in carry-on luggage. I mean,
depending on how much I win, it's shit. Bringing a whole crew, I don't care.
Actually, what I say is if any of us wins a large sum of lottery money, we buy a ship. We just take to the seas, which is kind of what is going to happen with you guys now that you own a ship. And that's where we're going to go ahead and start. So we left off. You guys discovered a floating ship. You were one day out on your quest, and that night, a ship that was just drifting. No sails. They were just tattered cloth, no lights. It was floating towards you. So you guys boarded the ship. Were attacked by a strange blackish worm creature that basically kind of doppelgangered our poor little halfling. You also discovered the mummified, for lack of a better word, bodies of the delegates who had arrived at the city. After trying to heal them, you actually ended up destroying one of them.
Eh.
But you did find out during the battle with the one that had doppelganged Sarah that upon killing it, she restored back to her normal condition, though she still does have a wound in her shoulder that no one has tried to heal yet. So you loaded the bodies onto Captain Catapult's ship, and he's going to take them back to the main area. Kenku and him, using magic, restored this ship enough that it's sailable. It's not in tip-top condition, but the sails have all been mended. The boards aren't leaking, and you're not taking on any water anymore. You guys have pretty much a derelict ship. You each received 5 crewmen. We're doing this old school D&D. I'm not going to put out 5 different ones. You each received 5 crewmen that you are now responsible for. Those are your special NPCs. I tasked you all with the homework of coming up with just a little bit about them, making them a little fleshed out. Not too much because I'm not going to lie, they may die. You may send them to do something. They will roll for actions. They're basic people. They don't have any magic skills or anything like that. So if you have them climbing the rigging and they roll low and the rigging breaks and they die, they die. So
I'm
that's
just happy
why.
I didn't get the Red Squad because we all know Star Trek rules. So those
Well,
will be the first ones to die.
If Big Rob does join us, that is the color he gets.
Oh, geez.
Well, because that's the only other color I have for my 6-sided dice other than white. So I'm going to go with the red shirts for Big Rob if he ends up joining us. But he actually probably couldn't because you guys only had 20 soldiers with you, and 10 of them are floating away on Captain Catapult's ship. So you do know that it is a 3-month journey. You guys were one day out on a 3-month journey. And Captain Catapult ship has, sailed off, and you guys are sailing off towards your destination. And that was where we left off. Like I said, you have a crew of 10 people, so you're not going to be able to do many maneuvers. Usually a ship this big takes about a crew of a minimum of 20 to 30 people to do massive maneuvers. There are no cannons on this ship. The ship, though not damaged, is not in a great condition. They restored it enough for you to be able to sail it, but I wouldn't try to, go whale hunting or anything with it. Which leads me to, you guys also didn't decide to carry over any more rations than what you had on you?
Yeah, I've got it.
No, I'm talking, you have enough rations in your rations pack, but the ship that Captain Catapult on actually had enough food for the 3-month trip, and you guys did not bring any over.
I can turn the ration food on this ship into.
Yes, but the only crate of food you guys found was 1 crate of various fruit in the captain's quarters. Other than that, you hadn't found any other food. So there might be, but I'm just letting you know that you guys did kind of just jump on this. You didn't think about it. The only thing as Tersel's character, Tersel did remember to grab a bottle of wine. Priorities.
Yeah. We can fish. It'll be fine. There's stuff floating around.
Well, that's where you guys might want to start off and start thinking about, are there any maps or anything on this ship? Maybe you guys should start exploring, start searching. Maybe there's islands on the way that you could restock. I will say that in this world, whaling is a industry still, so there are wellermen out there. So you may be able to figure out a wellerman route and be able to buy some goods. They didn't carry a lot, but they would carry some goods on their ship. So that is an option you guys could try to figure out. But I would say to give you a little DM push here to which direction to go, you might want to figure out where you are. And with that, I turn it over to my players. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna continue searching captain's logs
All right.
around the ship. I mean, I've already checked captain's quarters, we've checked helm.
And you did find various papers that were damaged, but you didn't really rifle through them too long. So if you'd like to do a further investigation, especially now that you know what you're looking for, you didn't find a captain's log or anything.
I don't think I'm at 20. 23.
23. All right, yeah. So yeah, upon digging through the papers looking for some kind of navigational maps, anything that would tell you where near a port that is on the way, so you could restock some of your basic supplies to make the ship worthy. Maybe even fix some of the more needed things on the ship that weren't just patched up. You do find a map, and it is heavily water damaged, as is most of the paperwork on there. You are able to kind of make out that there is an island about 2 days in the direction you're heading. This island is small but large. Like it's not an island you could walk from one side to the other in a couple hours, but maybe like a day and a half's walk would get you from one end to the other. There's some scribbling on it. Kind of shows that there are some buildings and some structures there, but nothing that tells you who or what lives on that island. There's also another smaller island that you could probably traverse from one end to the other in about 8 hours, and it is just a little bit western of this other island. And on it is marked just a simple letter P, and that's it.
I will share it with the crew. I'm clearly not a else. The wind would just
Well,
so I am heavily relying on
well, that's where you gotta kind of come into. So the soldiers you have are soldiers. Some of them may have navigated a fishing boat or two, but none of them are naval soldiers. They are basically just soldiers. So it kind of leaves it down to Tercel and Sarah to be the captains of the ship. And as we all saw, as the ship was getting ready to leave, Tercel knows very little about sailing. He just knows a bunch of lingo that he's heard over the years. So
I've got a few drinking songs I could burst into if that would inspire anybody. Not in real life and in character. I'm definitely not singing.
I didn't know you were a bard.
Right.
I, as a DM, I am instigating a rule here that if you do have a pirate shanty that you are going to use, you will sing it in real
Okay.
life.
Well, never mind. I don't have pirate shanties anymore. So.
Oh, come on.
Problem
I was gonna sing with you. I have like 50 of them on my phone queued up too, but we'll get taken down for copyright if we do that.
All right.
But
So yeah,
yes,
Tersel's going to be on the top deck, kind of overseeing getting shit tightened up, making sure like ropes are in decent. I know they
None of us
prestidigitation their
decided to.
sails, but try to
None of us
figure out.
decided to talk to Captain Catapult before we sailed off. Like,
no, you
Yeah,
guys,
which direction we should be heading.
whose plan was this anyway?
you guys had the general direction of what you're supposed to be going, but you guys were so concerned about the corpses and all that that you kind of forgot things like rations and directions and a map. You guys really just kind of went with, let's get these corpses here, let's get my booze here. You guys really did push through it without thinking of what else you should bring on the ship.
Kind of assumed old Captain Catapult would make sure we had what we needed to go out.
Yeah,
With
well,
him being an experienced captain and overseeing our expedition and whatnot, but
with the
Yes.
with the see if it picks back up. Is it doing this?
Okay.
What?
Click on mute.
No, I'm still trying to get OBS to come back up. Okay, OBS is back up now. It was not running. Yeah, it's back up. I know I know that part here. I was just trying to get OBS to because it was telling me there were issues. Okay, so we click that. There we go. And then let's bring my cam back up. There we go. All right. Wow. We don't know what happened there.
your camera locked up for 30 seconds and then it kicked you off for whatever reason.
Oh, on our end, OBS crashed. Discord kicked me out of the chat and then showed me that all of you guys were gone.
Huh.
Yeah, but you guys weren't moving. Crazy sauce. All right. Well, we're back from that small technical hiccup. Where were we? Yeah, is it up and running again?
Yeah, we're discussing our lack of supplies and/or general preparation.
Yes, yes. You guys kind of you had the chance if you had taken the moment to be like, hey, we also should grab some of this, but you guys chose to just kind of get on the ship and go. So
I kind of thought we were yada 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 in the moment. I didn't know we were in full checklist mode. So
well, and that's where it's I leave it up to you players to think of these things.
Like,
Which is why if you saw today's post for the stream, I was like, my players have a ship. This possibly can't go wrong. All right. So, anyways, you guys do have two choices. You can continue towards the larger island, which
see that.
from where you are, no, at the moment you can't.
Know how to get there.
You have the map that you found.
There are other landmasses.
No.
You're like, oh, going along this shoreline, so we're going in the right direction.
You are able to tell where you guys left, and you can tell that you're supposed to head one direction because you were told the ship's already facing the direction. You just kind of have to go straight, Captain Cuthole said. But there is an island that you guys will pass by, and then there's one that's a little more westward on the map.
I mean, I'm as ignorant as my character is, so if Captain Catapult says steer straight ahead and go, I'm all right. Captain said go straight. If anybody's got any objections, let's just drop sails and go.
Go.
All right.
I mean, that's
We'll
literally
follow
all my
Captain
character is.
Catapult's directions to a T.
All right.
Just
So
straight.
as the sun is rising on this morning, because it was still nighttime when you guys were boarding the ship and everything. As the sun rises, it is a very red sky out, and
No bueno for a ship.
you know, try as you might, you guys aren't. None of you are trained in the ways of maritime activities or laws, so you guys are able to keep the ship going at pretty much the way it's supposed to. Usually on a ship, when you have the mast wheel, there is a built-in compass kind of like right there. So you guys do have old school GPS of a compass. So with the tattered map you have, you should be able to put two and two together on which direction you're going. Especially a druid should be able to read the sun a little bit and tell core directions. So, so as the day goes on, yes, the skies do darken and clouds are starting to roll in from the east. You're about halfway through the day, so you're still about a day and a half away from the first bigger island. The storm does set upon you. What would you guys like to do?
Well, I would also like to say that while we've been traveling.
Okay.
After everything got settled. And then,
Take a short rest?
yeah.
Okay.
So
I'd say, yeah, I'd say it'd be close enough. It'd be about 6 to 8 hours. So yeah, it could be a long rest.
I can
Okay.
Are we all doing that?
If you want to delegate to Doggo and the other 10 soldiers to take over while you guys take a long rest, you can.
I was noting.
Well, I'm just saying, if you two wanted to do, you could have the other 10 basically keep the ship going straight. Again, they have no sailing experience either, so
Same as us.
yeah. Well, I just say like they're capable enough of keeping a wheel straight and not crashing and sinking the ship on its own, but you know.
That's what I was relying.
Yeah.
I'll skip the rest. I'll be up there managing the crew and kind of making sure that people aren't sleeping on the job and stuff. So.
All right, Tercel, I want you to roll a charisma check for me.
That's not great. That is a 4.
4. Yeah, they listen to you mainly because they were told to, but you can tell that they really aren't listening to you. You're kind of that manager that, barks orders, but everyone's just like, yeah, whatever. And they just half-ass do it just so you shut up.
Okay. Keep that shit up. The military shit's gonna come out real quick. You don't like my charisma, maybe you'll like my fucking strength.
All right, so yeah,
as long as the ship is more or less going the way it looks like it should, I'm not gonna get too uppity about it. But
yeah, the ship's still during this daytime before the storm hits. You guys don't run into any problems. Sarah's able to rest and heal. In fact, though, you do wake up to the crack of thunder as the winds have picked up and the ship is now heaving right and left really hard with the waves. The skies open up, and a very cold, heavy rain starts just pouring down. Visibility past the bow of the ship is only about 5-10 feet now. When the lightning strikes, maybe 15 feet. This is what I'm going to have you. Every one of your characters, you guys can either do it as a group roll for them, or you can do an individual roll. I need a dexterity check on everyone that's on the deck of the ship.
So
So
I
gonna
do
do all
one for the
five.
character, one for the group if I wanted to.
you could either
Just
do
two
it.
rolls.
You could either do it as a roll for all of your soldiers as a group, or you could be like, "Hey, I'm going to roll 5 times."
I'll
So
roll
I'm
5
looking.
times. I don't need to lose all 5 guys.
Is that what you're saying? You take one roll and all 5 fail their save?
No. I'm just saying you have the option of either separating them to an individual roll or doing it as a mass roll. And as a mass roll, even if they fail, there'll be differences for it. It's not like, oh look, all you rolled a 1, all 5 of them fell off the ship.
Okay.
Wah wah. No.
I just got to make sure because we got on a ship
Alright.
without provisions because I wasn't in the details. So
My
make sure I
No.
get you to explain everything now.
This is how DMs do group battles. Like when I have a group of skeletons and I just roll one roll for it, it's for all of them. And even if like if a majority of them would fail, one will succeed. It's kind of like, you just kind of group set it. It's to save time on rolling 5 times. So
my first roll, I rolled a d6 to see what it was going to be. Rolled a 1.
okay, so once one guy rolls a 1. Okay.
One more. Fell, got my 7.
All right.
Failed, got a 7. Wait, got a 1.
This is
Oh.
painful.
Wu-Tang got a 17. Fuck him!
Okay. So
We're
in
not
your
picking
case,
favorites.
since you rolled for each one of them, it actually will affect the individual. So anyone who rolled a 1 was swept off the ship. So they are in the water right now, and the water is very waves. We will do a save for them after Tersel's decision here. Tersel, how are you handling your group?
I rolled 2 dice, one for me, one for the group.
Yeah, Sarah, you have to roll
end
for
up
yourself
with
too.
I'm under.
2 17s.
Okay.
You can see them. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I saw your. So, all right. So, as a group, your group does successfully batten down the hatches and hang on. Some of them have tied themselves off. None of them fall off. Tersel, you're pretty well weighted by your armor, and you're used to the world kind of being like this, anyways. So,
Right. I was gonna say, like, I've had a sea leg since I was born. It's
I was going more with the alcohol.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. The alcoholic sea legs, same
Yeah.
idea.
So, yeah, for you, this is nothing. Where is Doggo?
He's with me.
Okay, so Sarah and Doggo are down below. Well, let's move you two off of here and put you down below. Tersel. All right, so you.
Quinn and Meg are in the water.
How many?
Quinn and Meg.
So 2 of them rolled a 1. All right, so 2 of your people are in the water. 3 are on board. All right, so at this point, it's the storm is still going. The ship is moving. You have 2 people overboard. You are under the deck, so you don't even know this. But so Tersel, it's on you to decide how to do this.
There
There would be a bell that would have been rang for man overboard.
So yeah, like in full Hollywood cinematic moment, Tursel's gonna find the kind of the high point in the back of the ship and start barking at people to get the sails up and all stop. I don't know if do we throw an anchor down? Probably not. But
Well,
just try to get the ship slowed down as much as humanly possible. And
all
I
right.
don't know. What do you do for people overboard and back in the day? Like throw them something to float
Throw
with,
a
I
rope.
guess.
All right. So
Yeah.
as you start barking for the sails to go up, your men ignore you and start bringing the sails down.
Doesn't down go faster?
No, you roll
Well,
this. You
whatever. I thought
roll.
the sales, I guess I've been playing too much Sea of Thieves. So, whichever way the fucking sails go to slow the ship down, do it. And if
So
somebody
they're
gives me a second
unfurled.
eye, I'm going to fucking pull my backhand out.
So they're tied up.
No, they're tied down, apparently. Yeah.
Oh, but I hear the bells.
Oh yeah, you've heard the bells in the ship.
Yeah.
All right, so you run up as soon as you get on the deck. Roll a dexterity save.
5.
5. So, Tertial, you watch as Sarah comes running out of the hold, and a wave crashes along, and now she's in the water.
Oh, God.
And
Doggo.
obviously he followed.
All right, then roll for Doggo.
Oh, of course he did. 17.
Oh yeah, Doggo's is doing that, dog in the back of a van thing, but he's bracing himself enough that he's not a problem. But he does run over and he is like barking at you, concerned.
The Misty stepped my ass back on the goddamn boat.
Do I have any useful
And I
spells?
napped. Take a thorn whip. Throw it out. Catch him up.
To try to fish him out.
Yeah. It hurts.
That is a possible way. Along the same lines, there may just be ropes that you guys could be trying to throw down to him.
So yeah, I guess the idea is that we are reducing our exposure to the air either by dropping the sails and then full wheel. So we're kind of, if we need to backtrack, maybe we could turn around ish.
Okay. So yeah,
Um,
turning the ship a little.
and then yeah, shouting at the crew to be on the front of the ship to start looking for floaters, throwing ropes to get people.
All right. Have your crew roll a perception check. So just straight,
What?
just roll a straight
Alright.
20.
So just roll a d20.
Yeah. For your crew, they don't get any bonuses. It's just a straight roll.
Well, that's a 2.
Yeah, the storm is very, very visually blocking, so it's hard for them to spot the 2 crewmen that are in the water. Sarah, are you going to have your crew also looking?
Yes. 9.
9. Yeah, you spot both of them. They are about midship distance of about 15 feet. The waves are crashing over them. They are wearing armor, so they don't have long.
Yeah.
I won't actually put a timer on for this. Normally I would, but
Throwing out ropes.
all right. Dexterity or athletics?
Athletics, huh? 14 plus 6. Oh dear.
So yes, one rope hits it. Roll for the other rope.
10 plus.
Yep. Yeah, so both of them catch rope. Roll strength on them and whoever's pulling up on the rope side. Because you're gonna have people pulling the rope, but you're also gonna have to have them holding onto the rope with the waves crashing. So it's both sides have to do strength.
One helping me, two helping together on the other rope.
Well, Tersel's crew could help you too. I mean,
Right, yeah.
just because you guys have individual groups, they are still a group. You know, it is a teamwork.
All right, so how many?
Just roll a strength check for pulling in first. So
with like advantage if I get my crew involved, or
no, well, I'll have you roll for one and her roll for the other. We'll say her three, her and Doggo are pulling one guy, you're 5 people, and you are pulling the other ones.
It's just a straight roll.
Straight roll. 12? Okay, yeah. You guys are definitely going to be able to pull them up.
I rolled a 6.
Yep, I'll say that does it. Now roll a strength for the people in the water to hang on to the rope. Hello, little spider. Hey, dear.
That's a 7.
Dear.
That dice
My dice.
is in
Yep.
jail.
11.
I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a little spider hanging down here.
Oh yeah.
Hello, baby
I
spider.
saw it drift by for a second there.
It wants to play D&D with us. Yeah, you both barely are hanging on, so we'll say you guys do after a few minutes get them back on. So you're back to 5. These two go here. Storm is raging. Your people are back on. You need to continue moving or try to weather out the storm.
I am telling everyone to tie off.
All right.
And Durst will make sure that his little group's listening to the orders. If they aren't listening to this one, he's gonna come by with his shield and whack him in the back. Be like, "Fucking look up, otherwise you're going over again."
Most of them have of your crew already tied off, Tersel, so they have a safety belt on them, basically. If they do go over again, they basically will be hanging off the side of the ship, bashing into it. And that's a completely different role that we'll be dealing with for that.
Tersel's military background starting to come out. He's getting a little angry.
So, but yes, you have the choice of either trying to press on through the storm or batten down and sit out the storm.
So I'm assuming we don't have any way to anchor or anything. We're in pretty deep water.
You are in relatively deep water, and if you remember right, there was no anchor on the ship.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
the anchor was going to something down.
Huh?
The storm wanted.
I'd say that the well, Tersel is correct in that you guys are too deep to even have dropped an anchor. Like, I'd say the waters are probably at least 200 feet deep in this area.
I mean, it's gonna suck, but it's gonna be pretty hard to navigate and keep the ship upright and all that. Might as well just ride it out. We've already lost our momentum, so I say we just get sick for a day.
All right, so yeah, you guys batten down the hatches, secure what you can. Everyone's tied off. After about 3 hours, the storm does start to move past and die down. Everyone on the ship is just drenched through and through. I mean, it was that kind of rain that just it goes through your armor, your clothing, your skin, right to the bones. Night is starting to fall. Unfortunately, what torches were on the deck are very, very wet. So they will take time to dry, and they will have to be like re-dipped and all that for them to even be usable. So the deck is very dark, it's very slippery, so unless you guys have spells or something that you want to use to light the ship up a little bit, it would be a very both hazardous terrain and precarious situation. So all movement would be at half movement, and
I'm purified.
all right. Like I said, at the moment, the only food you have found is a crate of various fruit that was in the captain's quarters. It's probably about 2 days worth of fruit for a crew of 12 people and a dog. You do have your pack rations, though, that you have, and each of the soldiers have a week's worth of pack rations too for survival. So
The fruit, I'm guessing, is citric.
it's various fruits. There's apples, there's bananas, there are oranges.
Orange.
You're not going to catch scurvy off of one day. Okay. You're not strapped, man.
No. We don't know how long we're going to be out.
So
Well,
like
you know-
Tersel's had a history of drinking stories with pirates, and he's heard about like leviathans and horrible ghost stories, and Sarah's only heard like the druidic pirate stuff. She's like, it's all diseases and scurvy and fucking worms. It's horrible. So like we have different perspectives on the negatives of being on a ship.
And that's about right. That's about where you guys stand on your knowledge of shipbearing life. I mean, neither
So
of
we
you are.
rode up a
Well,
storm for 3 hours, and it's night now.
Yeah, night is
the-
night is falling. I'd say it's about
The
7
water's
p.m.
kind of calmed downish.
Yeah, the waters are calming. I mean, it's still got enough because the storm, and then as you know, good rainstorms being where you live. Even though the storm is moving on, there's still that little bit of after storm. So the
Yeah.
rivers aren't calmed down right after it. It takes a little bit for the waters to truly calm. So you're at that point where it's like they're starting to calm down. The ship's not tossing and turning anymore. Like I said, everything is drenched. It's kind of slippery and it's dark, so it is definitely not an easy navigation of walking across the deck. So
Say before
Um,
true night hits, I want to put
Yeah, we can get started.
some of that
We don't have to
wind
go full
before it's
steam ahead,
falling.
but we can at least start
Yeah.
heading in that direction.
all right. So you hoist the
I
sails.
don't really have any way to clean the deck.
I've produced flames.
Right. Nothing I want to try. How about that?
Okay.
We're going to produce flames on this wooden boat.
What I will do is I'm going to assume, looking at your picture, that in front of the wheel there's kind of an overhang or a ridge that's a little taller than the lower portion of the ship.
Yeah.
Um,
So this area here
Oh,
would be higher. Here, I'll get the 3D model. Hold on. All right. So on your 3D model of the ship, this wheel area, and then there'd be those stairs that you see there, and then here's
Right.
the main, and then on the front of the ship it would also rise up like that. So that's how it would be. So you guys are just kind of listing lazily through the ocean.
Nice.
We got this at the
So,
DAB. It's so cute.
Tersel's going to get on kind of the leading edge of that, and is going to cue up his thaumaturgy microphone and kind of inspire the crew. Be like, all right, we made it through the storm. We didn't lose anybody, but we got to get some fucking food in this place. So let's turn her around. Let's head back the direction we're going to go. Kind of take it easy. Everybody get back on their feet. And let's get to it. Chop, chop. And then he's going to turn off his
Yeah.
thaumaturgy microphone.
All right, go ahead and roll a charisma check at advantage.
Charisma check at advantage. Jesus Christ. I rolled a 1, but thankfully advantage helped. So that's a 16.
This time the crew they seem to actually be motivated a little bit by what you say. So yes, the little step in there, or a little spring in their step. They hoist the sails. They generally are moving so they don't fall off again. But
So I've got one of my crew manning the wheel. He's pretty colloquially known as the Howling Mad Captain. Most people call him Murdoch though. And he starts up some kind of just a totally insane shanty, making up weird shit and just being out of his mind. But
Awesome.
his buddies, there's like, yeah, that's Murdoch, whatever. It's fine. Let's fucking do what the captain said or whatever.
I tell you to go below, take a nap. You need some rest or something.
All right. Yeah, I think the boys have got everything lined up. I'll go ahead and take you up on that, and I'll go take my long rest. Did we get your shoulder healed?
When I slept.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she did a
I'll
long
make sure
rest.
I don't have any clerical priorities to take care of before I
Nope.
knock
I
out.
needed spells back and I'm healed, so I was like, I'll just take a long rest.
Yeah. So if you want to take a long rest, you would get your spells back and all HP, which I don't think you've lost any yet, Tercel.
I don't think he had.
No, I used a couple spell
Maybe
slots.
I don't want
though,
him
so.
to
Yeah.
be rolling at disadvantage because
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
go
I'll
take
go
a nap.
ahead and do the long rest. then.
Oh, don't worry. You would have at least one more day before I'd have you start rolling for exhaustion. I do have the exhaustion chart right here.
That you do.
Nice.
All right.
6 points of exhaustion equals death. What?
The sun was going down when he went down.
Oh, the sun is already down. Like you guys are already past, twilight and into the early evening.
Going straight.
All right. So yeah, the rest of the night goes pretty uneventful. Rotating the crew for them to rest too. Nothing out of the ordinary. People are eating the fruit that you restored. Are you doing anything on the ship at all special?
My guy.
Okay. All right. So yeah, as the sun rises from a pretty uneventful night, the skies are clear. You do see probably about half a day's journey. You do see that there are some small mountains and some trees. You do see shore, but it is, like I said, it's about a half a day journey. And comparing it to the map, it does pretty sure that it is the bigger of the two islands that you're headed towards.
Well, I'm in the right direction. Wow.
Tursel's gonna come up from the crew quarters with that bottle of wine that he brought with him. It's half gone because he just woke up. Yeah, he just started, but it's like, oh, all right, everything's still on board. We still got all of our crew. All right, good job, Sarah. That's excellent captaining.
Look.
Right.
Yeah, Sarah's laying on the deck with Doggo behind her as like a body pillow, and she just got a book. She's like, "Yep, cool."
Did you know that Civilist does this? Like, oh my god, fucking pirates.
Practice safe sex, kids.
Right. Don't be wooed by sea shanties. It's not worth it.
So you guys
Does
got
one of our crew yell land ho or anything cool like that? Like,
there is one up in the crow's nest, and he does point out into the distance, and he doesn't say land ho, but he does say land in the distance.
it's like, yo, fuckers, some shit up there. Like, he has no
He's like,
idea.
hey, there's a tree over there.
Right.
and a big
Just right
rock.
there. Is it
You-
port or starboard? Fuck, I don't know port. It's on the fucking right, you asshole.
on the
God,
right would be starboard.
Jesus. These guys came from Jersey to join our army. What the fuck?
No, the island would be off to your port side, which is your left side.
Hit up. Looking. Do I notice anything about the vegetation?
It's too far away for you to see at this point. Like I said, it is the only reason you can actually see parts of it is because there is a mountain in it, so that it's a rather large continent or island, and there's this large mountain, and you do see a little bit of greenery. You can't really see much more because, like I said, you're about half a day's or so away from it. So you would definitely,
This morning.
yeah, this is morning, sunrise. So by noon, you reckon if you stay the course, the winds are favorable, you will land. So
Perhaps a very large outage.
yeah, well, we had a small flux here, so
Why he was able to.
yeah. We'll just be
See, yeah, Tursel's gonna point towards Murdoch, who's still behind the wheel of the ship. Be like, "All right, bring us around. Head towards that island, boys." Or I don't know. It might be women on the ship. I think all
There
mine
it
are
is.
boys.
Quinn and Meg are girls. Wu-Tang and
Well,
my
I use
Mikhail-
boys as the collective lazy English
Mikhail
version,
is
like you
a
guys.
boy that has female parts.
all right. Let's go ahead. We'll take a quick sidestep here. So, for those who haven't figured it out yet, Tursel's crew is consisting of the A team.
I mean, you only heard Murdoch. It could be anybody. It's hard to
Yeah.
say.
Come on.
There may be a large gentleman with sleeveless shirts and a mohawk on. I'm just
First off, if you hadn't already told me it was, I would have figured it out the moment you said Murdoch, because there's only two
Right.
Murdochs in this world. There's Murdoch and there's Rupert Murdoch. And Rupert Murdoch wouldn't be dead on a pirate ship. So I
Right.
know it's the A team.
That'd be fun.
Sarah's
Alternative
crew
A-team and
consists of the characters from our family campaign, including one of our friends. So
I'm Quinn.
yeah,
My
Quinn,
boys were
Quinlan is her half elf character.
Rafael and Mikhail is
Half orc brothers.
and
Meg-
Wu-Tang, played by one of my other sons. So if you know the South Park D&D,
Yeah, he
that's
was.
where he got his character from.
He basically was playing Jimmy from South Park,
Yeah. And then Meg was our friend.
who's a half orc.
I didn't even think about races. I'm going to make up some real quick.
I told you guys you can
Yeah,
keep
any
it simple
bonuses
just
or-
because I don't want you guys putting too much investment in it, because as you can see, we almost lost two of them already.
Yeah, Meg and Quinn.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, have a little bit of fun with them when I told you guys to make these NPCs. But it's just so that you guys are in charge of the NPCs for once, okay? I usually run the NPCs, but this way you guys can have some fun with them. And maybe if you guys are like, hey, I'm going to make this NPC walk in front because they can walk through a trap and die, and I won't care. Instead
Pretty
of
evil.
Personalities by people, what they would or would not do.
well, two of the brothers would throw each other through every trap, and one of them would throw a shiny stone down the road to see if it's a trap.
One would throw Wu-Tangs down the road to see if there was a trap.
I think everyone would.
Damn.
Meg definitely would have.
I have to
Yeah.
cue up the Benny Hill theme when we go off this shit.
A little bit. That's why I ran that table as a DM, and that's why I have so much gray hair. I had hair when that campaign started.
I was a 25-year-old model when I started this. Now look at me.
That's what Forever DM does to you, children. So don't let them talk you into it.
Yeah, don't have sex with pirates and don't DM. Gotcha.
Oh no, you can have sex with pirates. Just be safe.
Just make sure they're Disney pirates so that they're beautiful and untouched by disease.
Yeah, Puerto Rican pullout. Don't be a bitch. All right, so yeah, this afternoon goes by rather calmly, easily. You guys are approaching the island. You don't see like a large docking area though, so you would have to leave the ship. Well, thing is, have you guys found any shore boats? Yeah, you might want to start looking around for those. I would suggest.
I asked the crew, "Hey, where are our shore boats?"
Well, why don't you roll an investigation check for your crew to see if any of them have found any?
Then
They don't know shit.
My crew will do the same thing.
but you'd be more helpful than this.
They rolled a 10, so we're
Your
Not
crew
doing-
actually did find the remnants of one. It's actually hanging off of the port side of the ship. It's only about 2 feet long at this moment. The rest of it seems to have shattered off.
And how far away are we from shore?
You would have to dock probably about 50 feet out so that you don't run the ship to the ground.
It's a pretty good clip.
Yeah, and and burning armor. They're not going to be able to swim.
No, I don't think Tercel would make it either. So.
Turtles will be like, brick.
Straight to the bottom. Can you walk the bottom of the water? How long can you hold that water? That breath for you.
I would say that Tercel would not be able to hold his breath for 50 feet of underwater walking. And I will say, I will warn you guys right now: the ship does not have a diving bell on it, so don't even think about that.
No.
Well, we've got crates. We
Let's
could float
tie together
on. Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess we could do that. Try to fashion just the.
Tercel's like, we can all hang onto a barrel and just float. And Sarah's like,
Yeah.
we could tie all this shit together and make a raft. Oh fuck! I didn't even think of that.
I mean, if there's decent surf, we could just take a few of the boards and make the world's narrowest, most precarious surfboards. You know, like,
the invention of the surfboard.
I will allow surfboards, but you will be doing a dex check on them at
we could have
disadvantage.
the literal jumping the shark moment in the campaign. We're like, oh god, that was the beginning of the end.
So, do you guys decide to try to craft one, or did you two want to look to maybe see if you guys could find shore boats? Because your crew didn't find it, doesn't mean you guys haven't looked.
Worthless. Well,
Yeah, there's one on the other side of the ship that was actually stowed and properly tied up, so it survived the storm and whatever attack happened on the ship.
it will fit in.
7. But with Doggo on it, 5.
Dago can swim 50 feet.
Doggo is very
Well,
large.
He could run and jump 10 of those feet.
His speed is 50 feet.
Insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's also very large, big doggo, and this is salty, cold seawater.
What do we say about building a raft and taking? Did you find any boats, Tercel?
Tercel would have given up all hope on finding. He's actually surprised you found one. What he would have done is one of the crates that we cleaned out to make food. He would have had his boys breaking it down and trying to make something like a sturdy, either square space to float on. Like he's going full raft mode. Like
Actually shocked because I thought you were gonna say Tercel breaks open one of the crates and sits in it, and he's like, "I got a boat." All right,
See,
so for that, let's say here, let me see your sheet real quick. I need to see what this would be. Just a blank. I just need a sheet. Just need it here. 'Cause this would have been a construction. Let's see.
Well, he's looking at my binder I just got at the wizard shelf. I believe.
oh, nice.
Belt covering on the side.
Yeah, like very Chinese dragon inspired.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool.
You see, they don't have a construction thing anymore. It would have been like knowledge building or building. I'm gonna say we'll put it under intelligence then. So roll an intelligence on construction. And yes, we're going to be joining up with the Wizard Shelf that Jay was talking about. Address is 1147 16th Avenue, Moline, Illinois. Check
Nice.
them out. They have vintage video games, old comic
Oh,
books, old action figures. I didn't see a lot of G.I. Joes, which I'm starting to get very sad because I'm not finding a lot of G.I. Joes anymore. So, but definitely a place to check out. And if you want to, buy the zombie gifts, they do have minis, they have dice for the dice goblin. And like I said, they had some Transformers, so I'm always looking for more Starscreams because he's the best Transformer. And he's a Decepticon. But
rolled a 14 for intelligence.
yeah, they're smart enough to build, we'll call it a raft. It's seaworthy. It will hold 4 people. So altogether, you can take a crew of 9 out right now.
Dog.
No, that's with Doggo.
So I said 9 with Doggo.
You have a total of 13.
Well,
Build another
probably need to
raft.
leave a couple people on the ship just to, because we don't have a way to anchor it. So somebody to just make sure that it doesn't like randomly sail off by itself. So
Well, Meg doesn't really like. So she volunteers to stay behind on the ship.
All right, so we've got one of your people.
and one of my people stay behind too.
All right.
Specifically, a guy called Dishpan, who I actually don't know anything about, so I don't want to try to worry about it.
That'd be 8, 9, 10, 11. You still have 2 more people. Because, like I said, it'd be 9 total.
Well, I'll leave Murdoch behind too, since he's kind of the de facto captain anyway.
All right. Who are you leaving? Okay.
No, I'm afraid Meg would throw him overboard. Don't want to leave him alone with her.
Yeah.
So we will leave Michael.
All right. All right. So, yes. So, you guys board the makeshift raft and the boat and set off towards the island. As you guys are getting closer, there is a small dock there, like a small fishing dock. It's only about 2 feet wide and about 3 feet long. It's very old. It's worn. Boards are all warped. It does have like a strange water ivy that's growing up around some of it, like possibly just holding it together at this point. You can't really tell as you're getting closer. But you are able to put these boats in your raft up to shore. You wouldn't have to use the dock.
Looking
It is just trees, standard trees, nothing that you've never seen before. They're not palm trees because you guys aren't in like that kind of climate, but there's some white trees which are birch, and there's some oaks and possibly
that would
cool.
be just indigenous to.
No, it's just your standard trees for this hemisphere that you guys are in. Nothing that's out of place. No palm trees though, because you're not far enough for those. There are some weird, like flowering ivies that have come out of the ocean that are a little different than you've seen before, but they don't seem to be hazardous. Like they just seem like an ivy that grows in water. Um,
One of my trips, good trips, commune with nature. So it's continuous, it lasts a minute for the casting. I would be doing this as briefly become one with nature, gain knowledge of the surrounding territory. Still gives you knowledge of the land within 3 miles of you. In caves and other natural underground settings, the radius is limited. Feet. Still does a function where nature has been.
so from where you are on the water to that radius, it is kind of a foresty area after the beach. Let's say about 20 feet of beach. The rest of it's not dense wooded area, but it's a good wooded area. And you do see the mountain that is further into there. You don't see any signs of civilization other than that one dock. There's no like little huts, there's no tents. Um, you don't sense any life forms other than some crabs going by. Oh, the computer just dropped.
It came back pretty quick.
Is
Oh, yes, right now.
no, OBS is still up. It's my stream. No, it's because my stream, my Discord is completely frozen right now. I got to reboot Discord.
I had one of those.
All right.
American.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. It should be back up. OBS never went down on mine. It just Discord crashed. Which we got that new update on this computer today for Discord, so that's probably what it is. So yeah, as I say, what?
Civilization sense besides wildlife, only a dolphin.
Not in that radius that you're able to detect. Like I said, the only wildlife you're seeing is, there's the basic marine wildlife around you, some fish, crabs. Um, you do sense some reptiles in the wooded area, along with some squirrels. Strangely, there are very few birds like within this radius. This radius here, you mainly find like squirrels and there's a couple other small woodland creatures like rabbits, some field mice, maybe, but nothing that seems like it's going to eat your face. Everything seems pretty calm and docile. The snakes even are, they're not even venomous snakes. They are constrictors, but they're like kind of chill and just up in the trees. Probably not going to mess with you. You don't feel there's no evil intent as you are on this island. So we will take a quick break as I draw the island out. That way everyone can go potty and all that. So let's take a quick break and then we will be back. Hopefully everything stays up running while we're doing that. So go get a drink, smoke a cigarette, do whatever it is you got to do. We'll be right back as they enter the island.
All right.
I'd be totally through. Like, I don't know what Husker doing. It was here.
Almost everybody would have thrown him off.
He was here a minute ago, I swear. just heard him rambling on and on and on and on. Was just was a
Well, there's memos and stuff that.
Oh, come on. That's Preston. How about you?
We're coming back while everyone's still finishing up here. I just want to go over a few announcements of everything. So, like I said, next week we will be doing a tabletop gaming for Extra Life. You can donate to Extra Life by clicking the link that pops up in chat or is in the About Me section on the Twitch page. As you know, we did Extra Life all last year. I've done Extra Life for 7 years. It is a very important charity to me. So please tune in next week for that. It will be a light, fun campaign. Again, we are going to allow the Goblin players to come back. If you would like to join us for any of our D&D, we are always accepting new players. You can hit us up in Discord, and we will respond. We can set it up. We played through Discord. I will have you. I can send you a character sheet that you can print out, and then we'll get together. You roll your stats. You tell me what Hey, I want to play a wizard. I want to play a rogue. Whatever. We'll build your character. We do that off camera, off stream. We get together, you meet the group, see if you want to play with them. We're totally down with that. So we will be, like I said, that will be next Sunday. So if you want to join us, please join us. I do want to give a shout out to Billy D. Williams. It is his 88th birthday. To Lando Creasonian, happy fucking birthday, man. Billy D, the man. So yeah. Other than that, Az is returned, throws himself into his chair.
Uh-huh. The
Uh,
only way to get down sometimes. Just launch it and hope for the best.
if I did that, I would never get back up. Now, you saw me trying to get out of my wheelchair. That was hard enough. That's why I have the elevated bar stool chair for this. That way I can just kind of stand sit.
We have a decided lack of snacks in the house right now. It's kind of depressing. I'm gonna eat cheese.
I'm blaming both of our female counterparts on that because we have the same issue here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did get her to buy us ice cream cones last night, but I had to like
Nice.
twist her. I had to twist her leg for it. I'm like, come on. And then we go to get ice cream. I'm like, all right, you have a choice. We can buy, 2 boxes of ice cream. You can get your mint chocolate chip. I get the best Rocky Road, which will last about 4 days of ice cream eating, or we can get the box of, cones, which lasts about 4 days of ice cream eating. And she's, I don't care. I'm like, we'll make a decision on ice cream. I mean, it's that simple. But yes, veritable lack of snacks in both our households.
Crying about not having snacks.
He I know. I said we got ice cream, but I had to twist your damn leg to get the ice cream.
It was what do they call that? Commiseration. We're just sharing each other's plight.
Yeah,
apparently.
we're both bonding in the suffering of lack of snacks in our life. Az is having to snack on cheese because he has no snack. Cheese is all
That's
right to
pretty
snack
good.
on, but sometimes you want, something else to snack. So, all right. So you guys, so that where you are right now, if you notice, there's this area here. This is going to be the beach, and then this is where the grass and tree line starts for this island. Okay. So you guys are on the beach. Your ships are pulled up. You have 4.
You're 3.
Oh yeah, you have 3. Sorry. Yeah, you have 3 because you each left 2 behind. So, like I said, you don't see any signs of civilization right up in this area. The trees do get a little dense, probably about 20 so feet into the tree line. So, you are on an island now. Your ship is kind of just listing lazily behind you, bobbing up and down on the water.
Others looking.
What kind of bag?
Haha. That's just like I just very into food. Yeah, the gift bag. It's you might have fallen off. Like no, a canvas bag. Canvas bag at all.
At this point, if you lost your bag in the 22-hour drive, sucks to be you. Move on with life. Yeah.
That bag was donated. Congratulations. Write it
Yep.
off on your
I made the
taxes.
gift work.
Yeah. At this point, it's about the only thing you can write off. All right. Well, as you go get your drink, Tercel, what would you like to do on the island?
So looking around, you said we few birds. We had some crabs. Like, is there an animal-based food source that looks like we could trap and or catch to kind of start working on our food situation?
So, right where you are, you would be able to fish off that docking area there. It is fishable waters.
All 3 boys have already decided they're fishing.
Okay, well, hold on. There is definitely like some crabbish creatures you could try to, if you had a net or a system, could kind of try to capture. There, like I said, there are snakes and squirrels that were sensed in the wooded area. You didn't sense any big game like deer or anything, but her spell only does so far, so you don't know what's beyond that.
Can do
With the wildlife or the nature stuff around you, you would know that this kind of environment, there quite possibly are like a deer or an elk type creature running around these woods. There could also be other game animals. You're not 100% sure as you've never been on the island, but comparing it to other locales you've been to, you have a feeling that you could definitely hunt and fish in this area. And maybe looking upon the trees and vegetation, there may even be fruits and berries that could be harvested. So there are chances to get food.
All right, so we're out of character. We're kind of on an island trying to get food located just to kind of help our stores out,
Yes.
and maybe, I don't know, see if we could find fresh water, or just kind of restock it if at all possible. So.
Yeah, that's the gist of where you guys are right now. You really don't have supplies to sail for the remainder of your trip. This island may or may not provide them. And there is another island that is off to the west that is smaller that may or may not provide them if this one doesn't. Right now, you're really hoping to find some stuff.
I watched. If
They have their own rations.
I know, but we're going somewhere where we could ground a ship. So
Think you're going to be gone longer than a week? Okay.
well, things fashion. I also asked other three maybe also care
Oh,
what they thought they
roll a d20 and yeah, they did. So I'd say at the moment the people on the ship have more food than you guys do. Tercel, there is going to be a lack of alcohol also. Yeah, but that's not going to last forever.
I only take 6.
I'm just saying. Yes, but once Tercel runs out of alcohol, he may need to take sips from it too.
Well, I
Feel like
imagine I
he's-
have my unfinished bottle of wine, and then Tercel doesn't leave anywhere without his flask, so I'm
Yes.
covered for probably a day's worth if I had to guess.
If I feel that he needs a little something to steady his hand, I will.
I'm just
donate
trying
it.
to make sure you guys are thinking of things. As you've noticed, not thinking of things has kind of put you in a situation. So,
I don't even know what island we're on.
no, this is not the island you're supposed to be on. You know that much. Yes. Because the island you're supposed to be on is a huge mining island. And there are built massive buildings and ships, ports, and all of that. This is a small island compared to where the continent you're heading to. You also know
So
that
I
you know
guess we
3
could do a
days
little
versus 3
fishing.
months.
If we're decent fishers, that would be a good idea. If we could try to make, I don't know how you catch crabs on land, but we could try to
Usually,
maybe make
usually
like a
it's
funnel situation, like put a log on the beach so they can't go past a certain point and try to herd them or something.
it's usually alcohol and bad choices is how you get crabs.
Oh God.
It's the
Be
theme of
specific.
it's the theme of today's
Jeez.
adventure.
Right. Oh man.
No,
It's
the
gonna
way
be
you
one
would
of those days.
the way you would want to catch crabs is usually netting. Smaller crabs where you would net. The bigger ones, yeah, you could try to spear, but these ones, I would say a spear might be overkill.
Anyways, I know these 3 boys. They're definitely already be.
All right, so you're gonna take your crew's gonna go fishing, so we'll put them there. Tercel, what's your crew gonna do?
I think we're gonna to work on the crab situation. So maybe
Crab.
using like that seaside ivy to fashion a crude net long enough for us to club the crabs and make them easier to handle or something.
There you go. Okay. All right. So then for the fishing group, I want you to go ahead and just roll a d20.
Somebody got a 17. Got a 5. We got a 6.
So one person successfully caught 2 fish. The other 2 caught a shoe and a bucket. For this like half hour or so of fishing that's going on. Tercel, for your group, are they getting the vines or are you helping them get the vines?
So it's kind of interesting the way it works out. So there's one of the crew members, a dwarf, and for some reason he's got a really nice stogie in his mouth. I don't know how he made it through the storm, but he seems to be the one that's kind of telling people what to do, making a plan, if you will. So he's kind of barking orders while myself, uh, a largest half orc with a mohawk and cut off sleeves of his otherwise pristine uniform, and a very like oddly pretty half elf male that just seems to have a natural charisma. We're gathering the ivy and fashioning nets and
All
whatnot.
right. I want you all, anyone who is touching the ivy, I want you to roll a d20 for them.
Okay, so I'll be green, face will be purple, and BA will be black. So I got green was me. I rolled a 5. BA got a 7, and face got an 11.
All right. Well, everyone but face, as you're touching the ivy, you start to feel itchy.
Oh, it really is crabs. Damn.
I've been walking around, and at that point that I'm seeing them all touch this, I'm like, no, no, don't!
What's wrong with this?
Poisonous. And
Oh.
I will have 5 cure wound salves. So if I
It's not a deadly poison, it's an irritating poison, so it won't even cause actual damage, but they do all have itchies.
give them the salves, they're like, this will cure you. This is my homebrewed one.
All right. So since it's your home brewed one,
That's 3 of.
yeah,
Oh no,
Two.
2.
2 people. For both of those people, roll a d20 and see if it is successful or not.
19.
So Tercel is successfully.
18.
Yep. All right. So yeah, both of them, it does make the irritation go down.
Nice.
Takes a long time for it to go away. It's just going down at this point. It's not going to magically just.
And
Don't touch that.
Hannibal will point in a gruff tone and be like, "Put your fucking gloves on, you idiots. Let's go. We got stuff to do." And they'll be
Yeah.
more careful about
will-
handling the.
I will cast an angle. Perhaps that.
Okay. All right. I think the crabs have to roll a deck save.
Okay. I'll succeed a strength saving throw or be.
All right. Let me look up the stats for a crab strength. Only in D&D do you look up the stats for crabs.
I have to beat a 15.
Crab D&D. Let's see here. Okay, they have a -4 to their strength roll. So as a group, they rolled. Oh shit. Dear. That was a nat 20.
-4.
16. Not only do the crabs successfully dodge your entanglement, they bring up the little things like and
Nice.
side waddle off into the water.
Well, I tried, guys. You guys are probably.
All right, so I'll say you guys have built the net. You want to try to cast it?
Yeah.
All right.
That is a 10 on a d20.
And Yeah, you guys are able to cast out, and you, as you're pulling it back, you do snare about 6 decent crabs. Enough to maybe make one little pot of crab stew.
All right.
Oh.
Well, it's a start.
I've wandered into my Volo's guide looking for anything that I can pick up that might be good for future that I can stash for my herbalisms.
All right, so you're going to be looking for herbalism. All right, so roll an investigation. Yeah, there are various plants and flowers that you see that have been marked in your books and over years of knowing that are used for healing. You do see a couple that you know are poisonous. You do see a plant that you have never seen before. It is smaller than Tercel, but bigger than you in its growth. And it has a very strong stench of rotting meat.
Nice.
You said there were pine trees nearby.
Yeah,
Kindish?
there are pine trees, birch trees, some
Would
oak.
there happen to be any berries on said pine trees?
Roll an investigation.
Okay. That is 16.
Yeah, you do find some berries. Roll a knowledge check, though.
Jesus. 2 plus, I guess knowledge would be wisdom, so 4 for 6.
You find berries, but you don't know which ones are edible and which ones are not edible.
Well, so here's the thing. I was out in the battlefield one time that I saw this guy. He was just collecting berries while we were in between battles, and I don't know how he did it, but he kind of yada these berries into this frankly kind of disgusting alcohol. He called it gin. I don't know, but man, it hit fucking hard, and it kind of tasted like an aggressive pine cleaner, but I mean, wouldn't hurt to maybe grab a bushel.
All right, we'll say you load up a pouch of berries, but again, you don't know what berries you're actually grabbing. Your knowledge of berries is very, very limited.
Hmm.
So
How many
roll a d6. Actually, roll a d10. There you go.
kind of like each healing one and each poisonous?
Roll a percentage dice.
10.
10. 10% of what you harvest is poisonous or harmful.
Mine with healing. One with the I will be placing book and keep
Okay.
all those things with. Do I see Tersal picking berries?
No. No, I'd say you have kind of wandered over here. Tersel's still close enough to his men fishing, but he's over here. Doggo's just doggoing.
He's interested in what the boys are catching. Quite attached to that shoe.
Okay, so Doggo's playing with the shoe.
Do I have the boys fish again?
You can.
They're gonna fish all day if they left.
It's up to you.
14 and 6.
So one catches a few fish, the other one catches one good sized fish and another shoe. The other one breaks his line.
All right. So is it a matching shoe?
No.
Then my 3 will still be herding crabs or whatever.
All right. Throw another net roll.
That is a natural 20.
Congratulations, you have crabs.
Yay!
I'd say you got about 3 crab stew pots worth now altogether.
Cool.
She's having such good dreams. Well, let's talk of fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now that I'm like in this wooded area, I will cast again the Conjure with Nature. Anything?
Okay. How far does that go?
3 miles?
3 miles?
Going Underburn?
Right.
Yes, 3 miles.
Okay, so we'll say that that's about here. This is all wooded to that area, but then you do notice that there's a stream out there. That's the 3 mile mark. There's the stream. Past that, you really can't tell anything. You do sense that there are some larger game animals kind of out there. Could be deer.
Stream.
Huh?
Near the stream.
Near the stream?
You guys are interested in some heavier games. I'd say about 3 miles.
Tercel pats his scale armor, which makes a delightful metal on metal clinking noise, and goes, "Yeah, that's you guys can do that. Maybe I'll help the boys fish, or I can start working on these berries. I could send you with my the it's not important. So I can send these
berries,
3.
Tersal.
I found some berries on the trees.
Let me look at them and make sure you're not going to kill yourself.
I'm gonna boil them and do fun chemistry stuff with them, but he'll show a handful of what he gathered.
All right. Roll a wisdom check.
Sure.
No, it's wisdom. It's your knowledge of plants.
Knowledge of plants is nature.
All right, then roll intelligence.
So it would be a 15.
15? Yeah, everything he's picked is poisonous.
They're poisonous. Don't eat that.
Like how poisonous though? I mean, like gonna kill you poisonous?
Roll a percentile dice, Tersal.
Tersal,
Or
I
just
can tell you, we're on an island.
I mean, they could just be like have a fun mind fuck poisonous, like that's a 90 percentile.
Yeah, they're 90% lethal.
Okay.
You basically found white oleander and black nightshade berries.
Like, this would be good for if you're going to make any kind of potion to kill someone.
All right. Well, I mean, that's useful all the same,
I will ask for a small pouch of them. Thank you.
If Tersal wants to give them to you.
some in your hand so you could inspect them completely. So you just keep those. And...
I do have a little small.
Okay.
Spare.
But yeah, I won't be joining you hunting it. I don't think that's my forte.
You see that one?
Yeah. That is a Zen moment if I've ever seen one.
That is I'm
What
taking
I
advantage.
could do, I could send one of my boys with a crossbow, and maybe they could help you.
Okay, so
Probably Hannibal, because I think BA would just try to punch one of the deer, and that's not going to work. And face is pretty delicate. I don't think he's going to want to get mixed up with it. So
So, I've already noticed a distinct group of boys. Figure I must take Poontang so that he lives. And I leave the other two. Try and start makeup a cake.
all right.
oh, okay, yeah, we could all do that.
Fire get going. So we could cook up crab stew and pot.
All right. All right. So camp crew, roll a d20 on construction and a d20 on fire start.
Have a 19 and a 17.
Yeah, they built some simple lean-tos and they get a nice little fire started without incident. What's your crew doing again?
So Hannibal's going to go on the hunting party, and the other
Yeah,
me and two other are going to help with the camp supply stuff.
okay, so that's going smoothly then. We'll just roll off of your roll on that. All right, so yeah, as you guys enter into the woods, it does get dense, so it's the light's not bright through there. It's heavy foliage area. As you're walking, okay, yeah, it's plus 10 to your stealth.
I don't know what.
Yeah, as you're making your way through the wooded area there, you don't see like any visible signs of like large animals passing through here, but you still have that sense of it, that they were head by a stream. So yeah, as you're making your way through here towards the stream, you start to hear the stream. Let's see here. What would your walking order be?
What was our walking order?
Would you be spread out or would you be single filing it?
We would probably one in front, two to the side, one following behind.
Like that? Kind of
Yeah.
time information. Okay. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 3. Roll a dexterity save for number 3. Okay, so yeah, as you guys are traipsing through the woods, number 3 there steps on a spring trap and is hoisted up into the air. He does smack his head on the tree as he goes up, taking 3 damage. Number 2, roll a dexterity check. Oh no, that'd be Tersel's character. 3 damage.
That would be 5.
5. Your character or your NPC also steps into a rope spring track and pulled up into the trees, taking 2 damage.
Of course, Quincy being loudest, being screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Hannibal is upside down with like is it like a net, or is it a lasso around his ankle?
Lasso
or?
around the legs,
Okay,
rope
so he's
trap.
hanging upside down with his cigar, like just still in his mouth, looking super annoyed, just like comically calm about the whole thing.
While Poontang's in the other tree screaming like a
Right.
man. Oh. So I'm gonna look around to see where rope is tied up.
All right, investigation check. Oh. So
16.
15, yeah, you find the rope.
All right, so I take my sickle. And don't cut down very. I just whack it. He falls.
All right. He takes 2 more damage as he hits the ground.
Knock him out and shut him up.
No.
Murdoch, I prepare. I'm like, hey, dude, coming down.
All right.
I like hold on to it. Like,
What race was Murdoch?
Hannibal. Hannibal's a dwarf.
Hannibal's a dwarf. Okay, then I want you to perform a strength check and Hannibal to perform a dexterity check.
It's 14 dex.
Yeah, you warn him that you're going to try to hang on, but he is a heavy dwarf and you are a small halfling. So for a moment you are hoisted into the air and then you let go, falling on your butt. No damage to you. And
which,
he lands safely.
well, Murdoch, I think it's safe to say that there's humans on this island.
With pretty
Humanoids.
crafty ones if they're making traps that effective. I'm not exactly a small boy, so
Ears open.
All right, so after you get them back up on their feet, you guys make your way to the stream. Obviously, thanks to Putang's loud noise, all wildlife has cleared for about 25 feet. There is no animals, no birds, not even insects. Everything kind of just scattered.
Quiet.
The stream you do know is safe to drink. It is not salt water. It is a clear water stream. You do see maybe about 50 yards north of the stream a stone structure coming out of the wooded area.
Am I seeing like smoke?
Nope, it's just like a stone structure. This far away, you really can't make it out, other than it's like a rather large structure.
Yep. What time of day is it?
I'd say it's a little bit past noon by
No. Especially let them know that there are other inhabitants, intelligent inhabitants on have to sleep in shifts.
Okay.
And without seeing any game to kill. Yeah, walk back.
All right, so you guys return. By then, I'd say, yeah, it's definitely mid-afternoon, getting close to dusk. So you let them know about the stone
on the way
structure.
back, could we look at the trap? I guess this is Hannibal talking. Look at the traps that we found and repurpose them. Maybe hide them in a different way to see if we could. Hannibal's trying to make a plan. That's what I'm saying.
That would be an intelligence, so roll for intelligence.
Okay. That is 19.
Generally, yes. You know, you would be able to restring these traps, except for the way that Sarah cut them. Now made them shorter, so they would have to be completely reset, meaning rehung and everything. So to do it, it would take probably about an hour or so each trap.
Well, it might be worth it.
What's your thinking on that? Why do we want to reset?
Well, so Hannibal's got his stogie and he's giving a real, thoughtful look at him. It's like, well, they're expecting the traps to be here, and if they're watching, they know we trapped them. Of course, if they're watching, they know we're going to retrap them. But if we put them somewhere they don't know where they're at, maybe we get a little moment of surprise if somebody tries to sneak up us on us
We're
tonight.
going to be moving these closer towards camp.
Yeah, or just yeah. If they're not too terribly set up, we could just move them closer to us in a space they're not expecting. So
Right.
maybe find a lower limb so that the length of the rope isn't as big of an issue.
All right. Well, I'll say
Closer to
you guys move closer and find a suitable area to repurpose the traps. I will interject and let you know that there's also a chance instead of catching what was trying to catch something, you may catch something yourself, like some food. So that would be
Right.
another reason to do this. But yeah, but by doing that, yeah, I will say that dusk is falling as you guys do return to camp then. Because it takes about, like I said, about an hour for each trap to be moved and reset. So yeah, you get there, food is cooked, you guys have dinner. You let them know about
Yeah.
you let Tristle know about there are ruins out there. All right, so yeah, as the sun fully sets and you guys are setting up for camp for the night, uh, seems rather peaceful. Not many noises. Your ship is still kind of bobbing back and forth on the ocean. Like the two-man crew are continually just turning it once so often, so it just keeps going back and forth since you don't have an anchor. Um, you guys set watches and lay down and go to sleep.
Definitely going to set watches if there's some human waiter.
All right. Who's taking what watch?
I can take first watch.
To make it easy, you do first watch, and my team and me will do the second.
All right.
Cool.
All right. So, yeah, the teams gather up. You guys, so camp's right about here towards the dock.
I don't think I have anything that would make this
We'll say this is
better
the
for us.
ship floating there in the background. So yeah,
Because
as
if I was smart, I would have taken not sanctuary. Was it hallowed ground or whatever? But I didn't take it, so I'm not gonna have it.
all right. Well, as night descends and the first group is sleeping and you're taking watch, and you guys are kind of, occasionally you'll walk back and forth around the perimeter of the camp. But most of it's set kind of just sitting next to the fire, making sure you don't see or hear anything. And as you, Sarah, you're looking out towards the ship floating in the water, you see on the dock blue shimmering light start to take form. And as you're watching, the form starts to become more humanoid. And it is the form of a small little girl in a tattered dress. And she's just standing there. And that's where we're going to end today.
Nice.
Hotel.
So that's where we'll end today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for hanging out with us. I will see who we're going to go raid. But again, a reminder that next week we will be doing tabletop for Extra Life. My players will be bringing back their goblin players. Hopefully, Big Rob will be joining us. And again, if you want to join us, hit us up on Discord. We will set you up. We will get it set. I am going to step out and see if there's someone we can raid to real quick. And then we will raid out. So give me a second on that.
Boon Chang is a half elf bard. That's all. We're gonna pick that. You need to really know how to be. And like it's a little Ninja Turtle.
Nice.
That's why we have Michael, Raphael, Bernard, an artist brother. Hale and Raquel were the same boy. He died. I brought back another brother.
Nice.
All right. Again, thank you everybody for joining us. We're gonna raid out to Jay Talbot. If you guys want to go see a man play State of Decay 2 in some crazy ways, please stick along, show him some love. And we will join you guys next week with our Extra Life stream. I'm going to go hit the raid button and then we'll hang out and talk for a couple minutes as always.
Cool.
Leonard was barbarian. Hale and Raquel. One was a its name.
No.
It's on my edit it and put out on
Mm,
fucking hoses.
nice.
I got to pee.